Welcome back to On Right Podcast. Here you have Elijah alongside my man Grant. We're going to hop into uh, Pistons draft. It's the week of the draft. It's an exciting time around here. Fifth pick, second round pick also. So we're just going to kind of talk about what we kind of think through on a couple of different scenarios and go from there. So I'm gonna throw it your way.
Yeah,
Let's see. Draft is this Thursday, I believe, and
right. Yep.
we're sitting there fifth pick. So we'll be picking 20 odd minutes into the draft, and a couple different ways we can go with this one.
Yeah. So this is, when you're a Pistons fan or if you're a fan of a team that's not playing as well, over the last few years, this is kind of like, your coming out party for your team. You're kind of able to. Obviously, we always look forward to the draft and just seeing like who we're gonna pick, or hoping that we don't drop the ball and like not pick the right player. So I think this is gonna be one of those drafts where it's just gonna be another franchise defining. We need to find that player that can change the franchise, help the franchise, and um, all the mock drafts I've been watching or just looking at and monitoring over the last few months, they all point toward us either getting um, Jaden Ivey or Keegan Murray. Um, Also, kind of seeing Chet Holmgren maybe dropping or slipping, sliding a little bit, which kind of concerns me.
That's a
But
lot.
nonetheless, I think we're gonna just keep it. We're gonna speak it into existence. We're just gonna chat about Ivy and Murray as far as what I think they're gonna the Pistons are gonna want to do if they have the opportunity to get either or. So I feel like if they get Ivy, we talked quite a bit about how Aiden trade could become a real thing. I think if they do get Ivy, I think that'd be something they want to take a little bit of a closer look at. Especially assuming that Jeremy Grant's going to probably get shipped off somewhere, if not during the draft, if not after the draft. Um, I also think just kind of depending on how some things do unfold on draft night. I mean, wouldn't be surprised if Isaiah Stewart maybe got thrown into a package and sent off somewhere. But if it came to a scenario to where we still just kind of needed some more help on the inside, I think we could and Aiden wasn't available. I think we could take a look at like Mitchell Robinson, the center for the Knicks. Has little injury prone, but I think for what I've just kind of seen and noticed from over the last few years, like he just don't really be getting the playing time like that. But they got quite a few guys that play the same position, so he's kind of seems like to be the odd man out here and there. I think that'd be a good pick, or a good person to look at in free agency. I don't know. It's probably I think you are in the same boat with this one. But I think I wouldn't mind having Drummond. Maybe come back home. Pistons are obviously the ones that drafted him.
Played his best
His game
basketball
was
in
in,
Detroit.
huh?
Played his best basketball in Detroit.
Yep. I mean, he was an all-star when he was here, won the rebounding title, I think 2 3 years in a row. He did kind of leave on odd terms. They did kind of just trade him for like a dishwasher. So maybe might be a little bit of bad blood there, but you never know. I think,
Different regime, I'm pretty sure.
right.
Yeah.
Yep. Once free agency, once it kind of starts off and teams call, I'm assuming it's like teams that you thought were going to call aren't calling, or you think you're going to get resigned. That might not be looking like how you thought it was a few months ago. So maybe if it's a scenario where he's kind of just sitting around hanging out, not getting all them calls, that could be, I think it'd be a good conversation to have just to kind of shore up that inside. And I just think this is a no-brainer. But if they're going to be, really wanting to make a run or like to, get back to the playoffs, they got his target shooters. There's quite a few out there in this draft. I mean, you got guys like Bryn Forbes, Gary Harris, Malik Monk. I'm sure there's some other guys, that they could that aren't necessarily free agents, but they could, look to target, maybe trading on draft night when they get rid of Jeremy Grant. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Ivy. And then if we get Murray, pretty much the same thing. I think if we get Murray, the only thing that changes would be that we probably want to go after Colin Sexton or, Jalen Brunson. For the right price. I don't really, want any like 4 or 5 year deals, going north of 120, 130 million, nothing crazy like that. I mean, I don't really know what Jalen Brunson's or Colin Sexton's like price point is. But I just don't want, I'd like for it to be maybe like a 1 or 2 year, 2 3 years, something like that, just to see if it'll work out. And if it doesn't, you can kind of keep it pushing without messing up the books. Once again, I think that they should definitely be targeting some shooters. So I just had a couple names, I already threw out here: Gary Harris, Bryn Forbes, And some other guys, that just might be kind of like diamonds in the rough. I think Bruce Brown, that's somebody that I'm really big on. Wouldn't mind, trying to get him brought back to Detroit. And yeah, like I said, all in all, I mean, I'm content with where we're at. And if we can find a way to land, one of these two guys, I'll be happy because I do feel like that'd be a good stepping stone, going forward.
Yeah, no. So just to kind of reiterate some of the things you said. Obviously, Cade is the focal point, the star of this operation here, and now we need to begin to build the squad around him and moving forward. We believe we have a couple pieces here to stay, such as Bay, uh, Bagley just signed a recent deal, so those are guys are in the fold. We know going forward, and so to fill out the rest of that roster there, I think it's we've talked a lot about how the draft is before free agency, which is unique to the NBA is that as far as that goes. So, with the draft coming up a couple of days away, I'm kind of obviously I think we're going to get one of those two guys that you mentioned as well. Because I'm really banking on. I hope it's Ivy, but I'm really banking on the Kings messing up. I think, like you said, that they're just an odd franchise in general.
They haven't
Ivy,
even worked out Ivy.
yep. And at least I've read on places on the internet that Ivy told him he doesn't want to play for them. So, yeah, no. So if that is true and they haven't worked him out, I can't really, he doesn't seem to be mentioned in the top three of the draft.
Yeah,
So it's really going to come down to if they can't possibly take a player that didn't work out. So are they going to reach on a Shaden Sharp? Are they going to reach on a Benedict Mathurin? Are they going to, what are they exactly in their fold here? Are they going to take a random player we may not know of?
they're in a really kind of a tough spot now. Like we're just waiting on them to help us out again.
Right.
That's like how they helped us out to get Marvin Bagley when they tried to get.
Yeah, they could really, we could really be sending some thank you notes when they help catapult us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we already finessed them. They wanted Sadiq Bey for Marvin Bagley. We didn't budge. A year later, gave up a couple guys off the bench and ended up getting Bagley. Now you got it to where the guy that's probably ranked right at 4 in the mock drafts, and you didn't work him out. And we already communicated he didn't want to be there. So like you said, they pretty much now they got to go after like a Shaden Sharp. Maybe they'll go after Keegan Murray. They got that's trying to do, or at least help us depending on what they want to do. And then too, I like I said even before, for some reason Chet, I mean he's like third overall pick now. I mean I've seen him at second. I've seen Jabari, he's been first on the board. So kind of depending on how that stuff unfolds too. I mean they could. I mean if Chet drops or something kind of happens there, I don't know. Like I said, I think they're in a tough spot, and I think we're like basically poised to like pick up their to pick up their potential mistake. I guess or feed off of that.
Yeah, no, I really hope so. And if Chet falls, I mean, obviously they'll be interested in a player like that. I mean, so I think there's a couple of scenarios where we could really luck up in kind of the secondary star of this whole draft. A lot more people are talking about Jaden Ivey than a lot of other players in the draft. Higher ranked players. I mean, I think maybe we're a little jaded how much conversation we hear about him, but he's obviously a star of his draft, a kind of a dark horse. People say he could be De'Aaron Fox like, he could be John Morant like, he could. So, I think that's exciting for us to get him. So as far as free agency go, I secondary a lot of players you said as well. I like Bruce Brown, get him back. Dre, you bring now would be the time to have those two players. We had them in the last couple of years when they didn't mean much. So now with a young, exciting roster to bring them back as kind of more veteran type roles could be interesting. And I really just kind of build a roster up with lots of shooters. I do think we got a couple players. He's on the screen now. Isaiah Livers, he really showed out towards the tail end of last year.
Yeah.
Was hitting timely threes in the games he was playing in. So seeing the development of those players come along as well is kind of what I'm looking forward to. Is just meshing it all together. But like you said, not mess nothing up. I don't want to go ahead and sign a bad contract. We talked about Aiden, and the more I think about it, I'm still thinking it'd be a solid idea, kind of expedite us in the process a little bit.
Yeah.
But I really don't know if that's a move we're going to make. I feel like it's something we're hesitating on. It's not like you don't hear the Pistons are going to go get him. And if it's something that's hesitant, it makes me think that they might be shying away from that in general.
Yeah. And I think too, man, I think one thing, just kind of, bring up that Sacramento, how we able to kind of like finesse them. I get that right there kind of tells that Weaver's pretty like patient guy. I think he does get pretty aggressive and, start moving things around like during the draft, which I do like a lot. But like, I also kind of like how, it just shows me that he's, just kind of waiting, sitting back. Like, there's no reason to just jump at the shiny toy because you never know, what could happen with the draft. Um, I doubt the Bankero or Jabari will drop, but I think it's, one of them things to where he's just not out here like, because it would definitely be like in the news, in the media if he was trying to go get him. So, yeah, like I said, I think overall we're just in a we're
No,
in a
so
spot.
real quick, I guess let me throw this at a player we haven't talked about too much.
Yeah,
That you were the first person to put him on my radar would be Benedict Mathurin. How do
yeah.
you know you
I
think
mean,
it stretch at five? Are you have any interest? I do think he would be a very good player there. He's not a player that I'm scared that he won't be a solid NBA player. I just don't know if he's the right fit. But how do you feel
right.
about him?
I I would take him. I think it's just it's just tough. You can see mock drafts and everybody got him like 9 through 11. You know what I'm saying? So people obviously I don't think I've seen anybody have him higher than like or lower than eighth. As far as just like that's kind of like been like his cutoff as far like where he's gonna get taken at. So I would say like for the what I've been reading, what I've been seeing, like it would feel like a reach. But I think personally, I watched him play quite a bit last year, and you want to talk about just like a pro ready guy, get his own shot, shoot the ball. I think they said I saw a stat the other day that said he was hitting open threes like a 40% clip. Just slasher, super crazy athletic. I think even heard somebody like one really good comparison is Jason Richardson. I think you might have told me that. That was like a good just
And just to mention on the 3 point here, when I was doing a little bit of research on all of the guys, he had the most threes with like I think it was like 84 threes this
okay.
made. So yeah,
Yeah,
no, I do think he's a player that should maybe get a little more shine. But like you said, it is hard to, and it's not like the NFL where they would trade back for a picks or something. Like, that doesn't happen in the NBA.
right.
So it's kind of, and then it's kind of like, do you go out and get your guy if you really believe in him? So
Yeah,
if his name was mentioned, let's say I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily be mad. Well, if Ivy was there, I probably would be. But if let's say Ivy's gone, I would much rather hear Benedict than Shaden Sharp.
and
But
and even too, I'm not gonna lie, I probably like Mather more than Ivy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
hmm.
I just think
Yes,
Mather's a better shooter. He's a better shooter. Like I think his game is more complete, but Ivy is like I think he could also be like a freak of nature. You know what I'm saying? And just he played in the Big Ten, so like love that about him. But I just think Mather's game looks a bit more polished. But even too, if we trade Jeremy Grant, because they're saying Portland, that's most likely like they would be pissed if they try to just keep that pick. So I'm assuming that could be, a potential to where if we
yeah.
say that,
Both of them.
say that Sacramento, um, I'd say this more hypothetically. Say that Sacramento drop the ball, get somebody from overseas we never heard of. We can grab Murray at 5, and then work some magic. Maybe try to trade Jeremy Grant and then double back, and grab Matherin, or you know what I'm saying. So I think it's very unlikely, but
It is in the play. It could happen.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it definitely could happen. I mean, that was floated around a little bit earlier in the summer that pick would get moved, and then I kind of felt like they wanted to see where it was going to fall as far as the lottery goes, and then I kind of felt like the conversations died out. But if that happened on draft day, it definitely could happen. So,
yeah.
and then that's interesting you said that because Ivy, I do think Ivy's going to be a good talent, but it really comes down to if the game can mesh with Cade. Uh,
Right,
like we think it will, versus some of these other players who, if their shot is a little more truer, then we know what that looks like. So,
right.
Uh,
And I think like K can play with anybody, and like you know what I'm saying, like he can make anybody good. I think the thing is like, what I would like better between the two, and why I like Matherin more is like I think K would play better with shooters. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he can play with shooters, or like Matherin's like a solid shooter. Ivy's more like a slasher, like cutting to the cup. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of guy. I think he can play with both of them, but I just kind of like more of that dynamic of Matherin, spotting up for threes, here and there. Just from like I mean, I guess I'm not like a big stats guy, but I just feel like, guy can shoot better. Cato draw more attention. The three ball is what's sexy nowadays. So I just feel like overall it might, but either way, I mean, I think Ivy's going to be a stud regardless. He might just need more time to get a shot going to where Matherin already kind of has his.
yeah, no, it is tough. I think I default I would probably go to Ivy just because I probably watched. You said you watch more, but I watched obviously this Big Ten. I've been hearing them for 2 seasons in a row here, so default I'd probably fall on him for that reason alone. You guys will see that constantly. I'm defaulting to the Big Ten,
Yeah.
but I'd be lying if I said that Matherin was an interesting, intriguing move there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be interesting. It really falls down to I think a couple of those early picks are locks. I can't imagine. I can see Chet falling away from first, second, but I can't see him getting too far. If he's there when we're on the board, I'd probably turn the TV off. So, um, but I don't know. It's kind of.
Yeah,
I'm
I
hoping
don't.
it doesn't happen, but I could see him free falling. Um,
Yeah, I just
I mean, he said he's gonna be a 40, 50, 90 guy, and I don't know. So those type of things,
player.
but people do fall in love with unicorn type players. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
just
imagine him falling. I can't. I don't know. If he's there when we're there, I just hope we stay true.
right. Yeah, even for him, like I mean, we've seen, you probably kind of compare him to Durant. Hey man, I'm kind of more in that boat.
Yeah,
'Cause I just feel like that rim protection ain't gonna be hitting like it was in college when you got John Morant and all the other guys coming baseline trying to jump over top of you.
that shit wasn't working versus Arkansas.
You know, and Embiid, having to see Jokic. I mean, a lot of these guys that are. I mean, we've already had a conversation around Chet, but yeah. I mean, I just kind of hope that he gets picked up.
I'll say it again. His floor is obviously Darko, and his ceiling is like Laurie Markkinen. That's just
Yeah, that. Yeah,
I really
I
think
don't see him being.
that's my comparison. Those are my two players. So, but no, either way, I don't know. Either way, I'm just excited to see we're a couple of days away. And I think we gotta play the cards right in the draft, play the cards right, spend the money right this off season, and just go through and try to get some players that try to build really fill your roster out so that you can be flexible and be able to capitalize and don't pigeonhole yourself into nothing too bad with a lot of young talent and really so I would say get smart contracts and free agent. um the only gamble I would probably really I do like to call in Sexton, but only Aiden, if you're going to take a gamble on a 30 $35 million a year player, that would be the one this free agent I would be willing to do that on.
Yeah,
Uh,
they got a couple years to at least like experiment. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
exactly.
they don't need to pay Cade until like 2 years from now. So they got a couple years to
Yep.
maybe
And when you,
just like
yeah. And when you pay Cade, you got to be with that summer. He's a free agent. You want to be able to get another max.
yeah,
I feel like that's
right,
the recipe. Is you want him? All right, now we can go spend some money on somebody else. Who do you want to partner up with? We obviously got so and so locked up.
yep,
Which one?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Have
that's
you?
kind of recipe.
I'm sure you know who Lou Dort is.
Hmm?
How do you like him? He's a free agent. I even say this about him. He's bigger than like Sexton, or bigger than Sexton and Brunson. Probably not as not as great of a scorer, but I mean, dude, he be playing defense I mean, he can
But
hit. He's exploded for a few like 20, 25, 30 point games as being in OKC.
I, I wouldn't be mad at that. I don't imagine he's going to want to command that much money. So, no player like that.
He's an undrafted free agent, so
Yeah, yeah, very true. No, I wouldn't be mad at that. Just a little, like you said, scrappy guy. Kind of, and you got to have those. It all can't be, 3 points and I mean,
yeah,
we're Warriors, but you got to have them scrappiness somewhere along the line. And no, so I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
yeah.
Any
Last year,
anybody of that ilk. Yeah, let me hear stats. 'Cause
17, 4 and 2. He shot 40% from the field, but I mean, he started off his career shooting like 38, 39, 38%. So he's slowly making making an
improving.
improvement. But if we were to get him, I'm not. I mean, 17 is still that's still a nice little average. But I wouldn't be looking to him. He'd be kind of more of like what I envisioned if we would have got like Marcus Smart, like play off the ball, just do like the dirty stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Just more in that side of things. But I saw him on the list earlier, so I wouldn't be opposed to it. I like his game a little bit.
No, that'd be an interesting one. I mean, and I do think we're gonna obviously we're naming the players that we're most familiar with, and I think
Right.
executives are knee deep, so they're gonna be pulling probably a few players out of the weeds we never heard of that might may or may not work out. But I can imagine that they're gonna get pretty. And I'm excited to see what they're cooking up. It's kind of just
Mm-hmm.
talking to fans throughout the weekend, and we're talking. I think it's an exciting time, and
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's kind of
I wish we kind of had like inside info who they want to go after in free agency because I mean these conversations they start happening a lot sooner than you think. Just with like players reaching out to each other, or even I mean I think the teams they have meetings with the players. They probably ask Cade, who we should go after. I'm sure they're having conversations with other players on the team. Who do y'all like? Like who you playing with in the summertime? Who do you think will come help us out? Like whatever that looks like. So yeah, we just gotta no reaching. I mean I think we just we're in a position where we can get two like Big Ten guys. They're right there. Just safe pick. Get some guys that are established. Can go get you some buckets and just
yeah.
don't overthink it.
So let me obviously we don't know, but let's say what's one, and I'm gonna throw this curveball. We didn't talk about this one at all, but what's one name that you hear with the fifth pick?
The
If
most.
the Pistons select blank, you're the most upset about the one player to stay
Oh,
away from.
oh, I mean, I'd probably say Shaden Sharp. That's probably like I just don't. I know they're mock drafts, but to me, it's like I mean, this dude just sat out an entire year, and like all I hear about is athleticism this, athleticism that, but there's also two guys that could very well go fifth that are just as deserving that we watched play last year. One of them averaged 24 in the Big Ten. So
Right.
like, I just don't think it's one thing if you. I mean, it just sounds like a Kings pick. You know what I'm saying? Is get the guy that didn't play all last year and he's like a freak of nature and can do all this. Like, but like when you just got a guy that was a dominant Big Ten players and just, I mean, one of them don't even want to play for him. So that, who would you say is like the fifth
So
one that you hear?
no, I wasn't sure if you're gonna go that route or not. But no, I completely I second that with
Yeah.
Shaden Sharp. I just player I don't think we have no business taking. Um, and I am really, really hoping that the Kings go ahead and select him to get him off the board. Because I do kind of think that would intrigue us to some degree. And I just like that's another player I just don't want to even be there. So perfect scenario. Chet and him are both off the board, and they make it a little easy for us. And then we're sitting back for a couple of players that we think are a little more um, surefire talents versus I just don't think it's time to do an experiment. I think we drafted a young point guard that's kind of may or may not still work out as far as on our squad goes 2 years
Mm-hmm.
ago. So I just think now's not the time to have another experiment, and
Yeah.
his
It's,
him playing in those. I mean, watching his highlight tape is great. It really is watching like a dude that came from like the middle of nowhere, um, overseas somewhere because it's literally like all AAU tape, and he's playing
Yeah.
guys that it literally could be us out there. I don't know who they are. I don't.
Do we know why he didn't play? Do you know why?
I don't know the exact reason. I really don't. No, I just keep seeing people say it's the loophole. It's the I'm not really, but
What's the loophole to sign and then just chill and okay.
yeah, use their facilities. Come
All
in.
right. Yeah, get a free ride. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I just think, I just don't think we're in a spot to where it's like you said, we already took in a project with Killian, and I think Killian will be okay. He just need like probably another year. He should definitely be playing summer league this year. Just keep getting the reps. But we gotta go for some bona fide. They
Yeah,
can put the ball in the hole and like
yeah, and
play.
I hear other podcasts talk about that, and they say things like, Shaden Sharp could be a bona fide scorer, but I don't. The words like should be. We don't know. It's an unproven commodity.
Right.
It's that's a we're talking about that's a startup versus a company that's been around producing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's a big could be. So
Give me the
I don't think it's something to mess with.
Yeah, it's either if you want to give me the choice between him or the guy that hit like 9 threes in the Big Ten championship, like I'll take the guy that hit 9 threes in the Big Ten, or however many he went ballistic. But like, yeah, I mean, I think that's just it's really just a no brainer.
Yeah,
So hopefully they don't play with their food.
yeah, but he hit a 49-inch vertical on a YouTube video. Yeah,
You
I
know,
don't know, man. It's
we don't,
crazy. It's crazy times.
yeah,
Yeah,
man, we don't need no rim running lob threat. Like that's just not what our team. Sure he has a little bit more in the arsenal, but it's just I'm rooting for him, and I'm looking forward to seeing it for Sacramento.
I'm not. Yeah, no, I second that. I'm not rooting against him. I just think, like you said, speaking from a Pistons fan, there's nothing I want to mess with. And
Right.
and I guess we can go ahead and before we wrap it up, just a couple. We've talked briefly about second round a little bit. I know we probably didn't talk about this, but I still think Diabate, if he's there, um, Max Christie, Michigan State kid, a guy. I like those decisions.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, I like my man.
Houston, yeah, you know
Yeah.
those type of things. If Shaden Sharp falls that far, I'll take him at 46. But
Oh yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. He dropped. Yeah. You definitely can look at him like that. But I would say I think I'm a big fan of the guy from Arkansas, Jalen Williams, double double machine. Hopefully that's somebody. We got the 46th pick, right? Yeah, 46 or 43rd, something like that. I think that'd be somebody to take a peek at. Yeah, and I mean you just naming guys went to state, but that's Big Ten country. Like you gonna know they know how to play basketball. And they know how to at least be physical with you.
yeah, no. So
So,
I agree. And one more thing. This is a good one. Put it in the group me the other day, actually. But the guy's name is Dyson Daniels.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, I seen a mock draft the other day that had us getting him. I guess we can put him also on the list of players I'd probably be upset with. Um,
Fifth,
yep,
was he in the G League?
yep. I think I forget. I think it's from like Australia or something. but uh,
Okay.
but no.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, I can see the mock draft he's on, but no, I just that's the player. You know, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to do a little more research, but that's one of them guys that I don't like anybody that just comes out of nowhere. He wasn't like last year. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on my man's name from Houston. He was the second pick.
Oh, Jalen Green.
Jalen Green. Everybody talked about him. Everybody knew he was going to be legit. You
Yeah.
know, and
This.
yeah, and like it wasn't a guy that I never heard of until a week before the draft started, and all of a sudden he's the fifth pick. I mean, we've been
Right.
talking the draft pretty heavy. I haven't seen him top half any draft recently, so I don't know. That's kind of a little frightening. But
Yeah, and it's this is funny too because like I feel like you look at like other like NFL mock drafts and they kind of be pretty consistent for the most part. You might have a little shuffling here and there. But I feel like the NBA they mock drafts like the ones I saw today and just like the last few weeks. They had that guy Dyson. They had him. Somebody had him going like 20th. So it's just like that. so that even concerns me more that like other people are seeing him more later in the first round, and then you saw him
swings. Yeah,
potentially going top five. And I mean, yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of more guys in between fifth and 20 that I probably want to take a look at before taking a look at him. So
agreed.
that's very interesting that he's like coming up and down the draft board like that.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with that. And it's one of those things. I think, like I said, Jalen Green, and I think some of these G League players, guys that decided to go the G League way, that's going to prove to work out. But I also think there's been a lot of them that went that route and haven't necessarily been as hot as we would think. So I don't
Yeah.
want to, a shot on one this time around at least. So,
Right. Yeah.
you got anything else for Peoples?
That's all I got, man. We'll be tuning in or hang out Thursday. I'm gonna try to go live and just watch the pick happen in real time. So fingers crossed that it's gonna be something we'll be happy about.
Yeah. Yes, sir. We'll be back at you soon.
Yep.